Thank you.
Preparing to live streaming the meeting.
Okay.
Have fun, guys.
Sure.
Nothing.
Is it playing?
You want me to play it now? Tak ada sound. Tak ada sound. Okay, sorry.
The sound didn't come out.
Speaker switch to.
Okay, hi guys, we are live with a little bit of some hiccups here and there, but nevertheless, it's going to be an exciting night tonight. Inshallah, we have an interesting topic to talk on tonight. We also have a very interesting guest with very interesting topic. So just be patient. So in the meantime, I need you guys to help me share tonight's live. We've been away for about 2 or 3 weeks or so, but now we're back, right? We're back with a very interesting topic tonight on Golden Exchange Hour. By the way, this is Katie, aka the Bling Boss, and the host for tonight's Golden Exchange Hour for Malaysian Craft Council. Okay, guys, so go ahead and share tonight before I reveal tonight's topic, before I share about tonight's interesting topic with our very interesting guest. I think some of you may be able to catch the quick video earlier. And let's see if our guest is ready. Is it okay now? Okay, are you okay, Razak? All right, cool. So can we play the video now? Okay, so we're going to do something different tonight. Okay, so we're going to show you this video first, and then I'll introduce to you our special guest, and I'll introduce to you as well our topic. But please stay tuned and please share the videos because it's going to be a very, very interesting topic. I believe something that we're still excited about, and a lot of people out there are still excited about. Okay, Jiraza? All right, so let's watch this. Okay, just be patient, okay? So you can see there's something to do with maps, and we're tracing something there. Okay, Razak is back. I'm excited about tonight's topic though, guys, because we are revisiting our theme of last year's Kelantan Exchange, right? So there's still a lot of buzz going on about it, despite that we've rolled into 2022. I don't really feel like we're in a new year though. I feel we're just like rolling, you know, from 2021 and roll into 2022. But anyway, 2022 is still here. We're still looking forward to a great, exciting year. But for that, we're going to revisit our Kelantan Exchange theme last year. And so we have the video on. Okay, now, Razak. Let's see. Oh, your voice. Oh, we can't seem to hear Cik Razak.
I'm not muted. Are you able to hear me?
Now I'm able to hear
Okay,
you.
good. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, let's get rolling.
Let's get it rolling. Yeah, we are rolling into 2022. Don't you think so?
Yes, we are. Despite the challenges that everyone is facing right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, things happen. This is the online world.
Yep.
And we do what we can. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Go ahead, Kitty.
Okay. So I can just introduce tonight's topic, yeah, Cik Razak?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right, so you guys, some of you know him, some of you don't, but we love him because tonight we have this very special guest, and actually he was supposed to appear last year, but we want to open the new year with him instead of last year because we feel that this is a great, exciting topic, you know, and it is revisiting last year's theme, but this theme should be the kickstart for 2022 because it's talking about greatness. It's talking about our amazing civilization, and it's talking about our unique identity and who we are actually as a nation, as the people, right? Okay, so tonight's guest is a very fine, amazing gentleman who is the founder, one of the co-founders of the Langkasuka movement. All right, so definitely, inshallah, we'll have great things to talk about tonight. And when we talk about the Langkasuka movement, there's a lot of things that we need to touch on, which is why I think our guest tonight, none other than Tuan Haji Abdul Razak Abdul Aziz, right, is also a man of, we can call him Renaissance man. There's a lot of Renaissance men on Malaysian Craft Council too, you know. So yes, here I'm again, Katie.
That makes me feeling a bit old, yeah?
No, Renaissance man is like, we have lost Renaissance men, you know, we need more Renaissance men. Yeah, so you're one of the Renaissance men, I believe. Right. Okay. So Tuan Haji Abdul Razak is one of the co-founders for the Langkasuka movement. Yep. And yeah, I think let's just give the floor to him. I'm Katie again, by the way, aka the Bling Boss, your host for tonight, Golden Exchange Hour. Okay, Cik Razak, go ahead. How did it all start?
Well, thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for having me to begin the year, and with such a great introduction, it's gonna be tough for me to keep up on that high note, yeah. But thank you.
I didn't even greet the guest, the audience with Assalamualaikum. Sorry, guys. You know. Okay, yes, Razak. How did it all start? How the name Langkasuka movement itself is very intriguing.
Yeah, it is. It was coined up and branded as such to give that intrigueness and question ourselves really. That's how we started. For me and my wife Intan, and also another college mate from ITM, Khairul. For us, it started way back in college when we were mocking about with what is art and design, what has it got to do with our culture and heritage. And obviously, we felt a strong connection to the things that we picked up from the experts in Kelantan, Terengganu, and Pahang. And it was an obvious scenario with the students of art and design then, and that mooted a few ideas back then in college, and we had ideas about what could we do, how we want to look back into our history and heritage and culture to adapt to designs of the future. But fast forward today, alhamdulillah, we met more great teachers as we dwell ourselves into it, especially ada guru Nohaiza and Nohaiza Nozin, the famous fine wood cover, among others, and tukang besi, and you know, stage got bigger and bigger.
Wow.
It wasn't until about 1997 where we got involved with creating Legenda Langkawi in the Park Botanical Garden that we met Nohaiza, and he articulated a lot of those things that somehow another was intriguing to us. It's like dia cakap pasal balance, dia cakap pasal things that were of lifestyle, but yet everything was mythical. And the more we ask him, the more intrigued we get, and the more questions we ask. So eventually, related stories after that, and when we studied how masters like him, and among the 6 other masters that of wood covers, we saw a lot of connection in terms of things that they were doing as a lifestyle, the vocation that they were doing, but it has a strong base of culture and heritage. And it wasn't until then that we decided, okay, what if we research something about it, and what if we document it? So our first book that we published was Lakar, L-A-K-A-R, Lakar.
Lakar,
yes, which was his sketches, which is Nohaiza's sketches.
I see.
So that's how technically we got involved, because we were designers. We run our own creative company and events, and we had our first try of trying to understand this mythical thing that people talk about, Langkasuka, and we promoted it in the book.
I get goosebumps, you know, every time you mention of the word Langkasuka, I always get goosebumps. I still do now.
I don't blame you, KD. Every time I go to Terengganu, Kelantan, you know, the goosebumps rise, and every time we fly to Patani and we touch the ground on the airport, the goosebumps are always there, you know.
Yeah,
so, you know,
strange.
it is something which we have connection with.
Yeah, I believe so. I see. So the journey has been so way back. It's like,
for us way back.
Wow.
And we stumble upon new friends, among them Cik Zul, Kifli Hamza, who saw things that he wanted to do too, you know, and we got together and say, look, if we are serious about it, why don't we further research? So that started the idea about a movement. We didn't want an NGO, we didn't want a company, because for us, it's not something that we want to claim. It belongs to everybody. Every single Malaysian, every single Nusantara descendants, whether it's Malay, Chinese, Indian, that comes from the Malay world, has to have this ownership. So we started a movement called Langkasuka movement. And it wasn't until about 2014 to 16, I think 2014 or 2016, that we started connecting with academicians and other experts in the industry, artisans, artists, and we had a good 18 people in the first meeting of Langkasuka movement from UM, UKM, USM, Patani, and then some of the galleries and museum, and they all felt the same. They said, look, if you want to do this, we have some of the data that you probably need. So that started the ball rolling, and alhamdulillah, it has been a good run for the last, I would say, since 2014, 2015?
2014, 2015.
Yes, for documentation purposes,
So the journey began way back, well, even when you're in college, right? And then you stumbled into Adiguru Nurhaiza.
Yes, that's
right?
correct. Yes.
And then you and your wife started exploring it further.
Yes.
And then somewhere in 1997, right?
Yes.
And then you somehow managed to come together with a few other people and create this movement, which is called the Langkasuka
movement. Yes.
Awesome. And then you gather again with all the other academicians, the researchers, about 18 of them
at that time.
At that time to kickstart the Langkasuka movement.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you said it's not an NGO because you don't want to claim it as yours, or a company, but it is a movement because you want everyone that belongs to the Malay world take ownership, which also include the Chinese, Indian, and others. So why do you say that, and how does that link us up all together under this mythical, like mythical, but it's actually a reality? It's
Very good question. Sometimes it can get a little bit controversial every time we talk about races, obviously for political reasons. But for us, our narrative is that we come from the same world. You stretch back 2,500 years ago, we were just normal people with different religions, and at that time Islam wasn't in yet, and etc. Even though you stretch back, then it's the Ugama Alam. Yes, it was. Then you fast forward to you fast forward to maybe 900 years ago, then it's a different story. So for me, it is the people of the community that comes from this world. And if you look at Nusantara or the Malay Archipelago, we were just one of the same root, so to speak. Yes. So for me, it's good to at least acknowledge that. Then you expand to the ones that we know of. For example, if I were to pick up the researchers from various parts, like studies of the travels of I Ching or I Ching, I Ching, yes, formerly known. This stretches to and that's the first documentation of the Malay world here, as far as Malaya or Malaysia is concerned. And that only stretches to about the year 872, 875, whatever it is, those dates. And in that point, they were already talking about the various people of the land. And the influence of the various other communities that came about. The Chinese from China, the Indians, the Arabs, and so on and so forth, who actually acknowledge one another. We were working together, and we were doing good business together without much ado about political difference or religious difference and cultural difference. So for us, we saw a slightly different narrative. We were already one Malaysia. Back then. So for us, this heritage of ours belongs to everyone as far as we're concerned.
I see. That's the narrative. Right. And that's true though. We were already one Malaysia. That is already so true.
Already.
I think if we were to refer to John Ang's, he would say, right, our DNA actually trace back all the way to China, the Yunnan or something like that.
That's very correct. And if you talk to the other experts, like the mitigation of people and culture, then it goes way back, and then Polynesia and And whatever it is, we notice that the narrative has always been, we are okay with one another. That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. Okay, awesome. So now tell us a little bit about the Langkasuka itself. What's so great, what's so amazing, but yet so mythical and mystical about it. Why is it so mystical when it's actually part of our bloodline, right?
Okay. Yes. we ask that questions to ourselves too, and every time we pop these questions, especially to people like Nohaiza Nordin, yeah, we keep asking him, where do you get all this narratives? You tell us this, but we hear you, we feel you, we can easily taste and get the air of it, but where does it come from? Because there's no documentation.
Exactly.
And much earlier those days, we never got the chance to spend so much time with Arwah, Nick Rashidin and whatnot, but they were already articulating some of the stuff that is evident in their works, in their carving, in the arts and craft of the other bits and pieces that we have today. Yeah? So it is to us very evident, but there's no documentation. So where does it come from? Mythical affair of it, yeah. And for those who doesn't or have not got the pleasure to meet up with people like Adi Guru Nohaiza, when you speak to him, you get it. You get connected to whatever he's talking about. The balance, and all he does is call it the chick and chak, chick chak, female, chick chak, and that's male, female, positive, negative.
I see. So it's like the yin and yang.
Yes, yin and yang.
This is the chick chat. I mean, in our world, it's the chit chat.
Okay. Yeah, and in today's context, that's 1001, binary. Yeah, and
yes.
encompasses everything. Yeah,
and it's very reflective. It's like the twin flame.
Yes, that's right.
Like the twin flame. It's one soul splits into two.
That's right, and it's evident in the things that he does, the vocation that he does, his artworks, art pieces. And if you look at the batik, you look at the traditional houses, you look at Kambasi, it's all about balance, yeah. And the way of life was to balance things out. So it gives you that whether it's a provocation or whether it's intriguing to further find out. So that's what we got ourselves into later. And from there, we started researching other things. We got opportunity to work with Institute Terjemahan Negara Malaysia to publish the so-called the first book on Mak Yong, which is this book. Sorry, it's a bit blurred.
A bit blur. There. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Ada kan? And this was published in 2006, I think, and it was a compilation of Arwah Ramidin Zahari and of course Sutomoma RS, and we compiled their stories about races, you know. Why those things can be so traditional yet so contemporary in even today's context. And you have followers until today that performs Mak Yong, and it's still the same energy that is being presented to us. Yeah? So for us, it's feeling the need to look further into.
So what you're trying to say, the facts or the truth has actually been preserved in our evidence through our crafts and our culture and the design.
Precisely. Yeah.
Right.
I'm coming from. We are not known for documenting things, unlike the other communities like civilizations like Chinese and other people of the world. We are more oral, and we share the stories through vocalization. Yeah, but it's evident in our crafts. Yeah, it's evident until today. Yeah.
So we're more a nation where the stories are being told verbally, vocally, through performance, through crafts, through our culture, instead of being documented. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, it is.
Very interesting.
Very true. And if one were to if one were to look at that angle, regardless whether you're coming from an academic, whether you're coming from a graphic designers like us, whether you're coming from a promoter like you, and so on and so forth. If you take one type of craft, batik, if you take the art of seafaring, which is how do you live on seas and bring back home food and etc. Yes, it's the same. It's about making sure there's enough balance. How do you create your own house and design your own house? And until today, people cannot figure out how did the Malay world created homes that is almost replicable in terms of it's like Lego basic system.
Yeah.
It is. You can replicate it, you can expand, you can reduce the size, but a lot of attention given to the right people. Like for example, each house have to give respect and attention to the woman of the house.
That is so true.
And the calculations are calculated based on the woman of the house. Yeah, and so it's all about balance already, and those are real evidence. Even though it's not documented in books until much later, but I think the passing down has always been oral and the things they do. Yeah, so that we have to be proud of.
Yeah. That strangely or ironically, that's pretty evident, and it's been preserved up to today. Yes. Despite that, we have lack of evidence in writing or the documentation.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. I think I came across that you and your wife both perhaps involved as well in tracing or doing expedition on exploring the roots of Langkasuka, where is actually where's the original base of the civilization. Yeah. Yes. Can you share a little bit on that?
Oh, that's I'm afraid 1 hour may not have enough time to explain everything. But
it's okay.
We belong to the people who are always excited about adventure and getting ourselves into the jungle. So when we were chatting with one professor from UKM when he was there, Professor what is his name? Professor I slipped my mind. Well, this professor had this map of the old Malay world as a background of his office, and he had 13 rivers crossing the peninsula, and they were all written as penarikan. So I popped the question to him, Prof, where did you get this map? Because it says 13, I only know one, which is a connection. And I asked him, how come it's not been taught in schools? Because I don't remember. We are waiting for people like you. His name is Professor Fauzi, Dr. Fauzi. And Fauzi. When he said that, our eyes went blink, blink, and I said, okay. Yeah, Professor Fauzi.
Blink, blink.
And 4 months later, we were packing our bags. Yeah.
Wow.
And we were already packing our gear. We got ourselves boats and etc. And we traced from Kedah right up to Patani. And over the 10 months, we went in about 5-6 times. And we traced the Patani River right up to the border until about Baling and whatnot. And then we went back to Kedah via through Pantai Merdeka and Gunung Jerai. And then we trailed up back again based on the records or whatever data that we have. And we went to a point over the hills on the border of the current Thai and Malaysia. And when we looked down, we could hear the motorbikes of a village called Bansakai. And the river is just about 1 kilometer away from each other. So, and 1 kilometer. And Bansakai, Bansakai.
Okay.
Asli, yeah? And there were already stories about how their ancestors trade animals, livestock over the hills, and the buffaloes and elephants were pulling the boats across, and etc. And we felt that we could have stumbled upon one of the possibilities. So we documented that, and we published a book called Jejak Langkasuka, which I gave one to Nick, and it's just a teaser of what could be it. only because we are not academicians, we are not experts of archaeology or history. So we do not want to claim based on evidence. But if want to follow that trail, even if you look at the book, I think there's enough evidence based on the people who were met from one end to the other. The ancient trails of Patani, where the ruins are, you know, it has loads of evidence. And you trail up to the Patani River, people were talking about those things already, in their own language. Then you cross the border, you go straight to Muda and Sungai Muda, Sungai and whatnot. There's our Professor Mokhtar Saidin and his team, who has discovered Kedah Tua. And those are real evidence. The cleans of iron, ore and whatnot. So if you put one together, you know, you see the exact pattern of what I Ching talks about. So for us, it's evidence that is right smack in our face, under our noses, but not enough academicians to actually study the thing and put it forth as if these are real evidence. So for us, it's teasing everybody. Yeah,
I see. It took you 10 months. The
10
journey
months,
began before that. Sounds like Indiana Jones.
we
Wow,
we love to think about it like so, but when you're faced with 5-6 days in the jungle with 150 leeches on your body each day, that's a different story. Obviously, I don't think Indiana Jones would survive that's 5 days.
Wow, I mean, what you went through is real stories. Okay, Indiana Jones is what's on the movie. What's from Hollywood. Anyway, but that's very inspiring. Now that you talk about this quest or this journey that you went through with your wife and a few other people, truly the question is really what drove you? What was the driving factor that it's like a calling that you just
I know, Katie. We also keep asking this question to us. We are not sure until today, but the drive is pretty strong. Like, for example, you Nick and you guys invited us for this talk. We say just yes. Anytime is a good time because it must be done. When we found out that you guys were doing the Langkasuka themed event, couple months ago, we knew of it like about 4 days before the event. Somehow or another, we were busy with other things, and we must have missed your promotions. And when we found out, we called you guys and said we want to be involved. So for us, it's yes, it is a calling, but it's probably macam not even pasang niat. It is there. It must be done, and if it's to be, it should be done now. So one phone call or one image or one mention about Langkasuka needs something, inshallah we will be there. And I'm saying this, we're not alone. All those people that we met, 18 people from the various academics and whatnot, I know they will be there. People like Alex Lee, Serapuri.
Okay.
And one phone call, Alex Lee of Serapuri.
Yeah,
he has lots of information, and if you know him, one phone call he will come with loads and loads of other stories. So we hope this is a continuity that is meant to be.
Yeah, the like you said, meant to be. It seems like there's an unseen forces going behind the scene that beyond our control as well, in a way, right? Wouldn't you think so? Don't you think so?
Yeah.
If you were to reflect. Yeah.
Yes, I do. And that's why when we were there in Kelantan, it was easy. It wasn't difficult for us to get connected with each other, with Nick and with all your fabulous team up there. And whether they are performers, whether they are just somebody who's interested to make a sale out of a craft. And for us, it was easy. No questions asked, and we were just doing our thing, and everybody came together as one. So for us, it's good enough.
Yeah, we all came together as one. It's pretty natural, isn't it? It's as if it's such a very natural thing for all of us to come together for that purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I always, since returning from the event up till today, I'm always still in awe in a way. And I still, because I mean, I've
Yeah.
made last time it was before MCO is an annual trip to Kelantan, but I've never
Mhm.
had this experience where, when returning from it since that the event, it's like, every time the mention of Langkasuka, I get these goosebumps, and
Yeah.
every time, even throughout this session right now, you have these overwhelming emotions, mixed of emotions, going
Yeah.
on at the same time.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, how did, because I noticed Langkasuka movement organized a lot of teleport workshops. So how does
Yes.
that link together?
Okay. Similarly, it was Adi Guru who rebooted the idea behind it, and the inspiring aspect of it. Yeah? My wife Intan was in textile, and she majored in batik. And I remember during her uni days, she was already talking about some form of gold gilding onto fabric. I don't recall the word teleport, but Arwah Aziz was the icon that talks about teleport, etc., etc. So when Nohaiza mentioned back again about teleport, again it was just a snap at it and say, okay, that's something which we do, but we realize there's a lot of things that are short because there's no one to refer to, and some of the things that we are aware of in galleries are not being shared. So we decided, okay, maybe that's something which we could take up and do because we are already in events. So we got together with Adi Guru and a few other friends and say, okay, this is something that we think we want to do, and we started the ball rolling. At the same time, also we were blessed because we presented our case to Yayasan Hazana, and they took a liking for it. Panzai Zainaria of Yayasan Hazana were really already into traditional fabric. So it was kind of overlapping mission, so to speak. And she awarded us the grant, and we started the ball rolling with research, documentation in the form of a book, and documentation in the form of raw videos, and came out with a clip of teleport. And we conducted about 6 series of workshops. We targeted about 120, and our KPI was, if I'm not mistaken, 20 to go into the next level. We achieved 28 numbers of interested parties from various walks of life, who showed some sense of not only interest but capabilities and skill to take it to the next level. And it was very challenging because of COVID, because of things would not be viable for us to travel. We were supposed to travel to India, Vietnam, Cambodia, to trace all this with some possibilities of Japan, because they and these are some of the places that has similar, if not slightly varied crafts that has gold gilding onto fabric. Yeah, but COVID stole that away from us, and to face you, some of you will be aware, to face KPIs of Yayasan Hazana, if things are stated, we've got to achieve those things. So we scramble for ideas, and we managed to visit a lot of the galleries locally and museums. And it was a blessing because we stumbled upon a lot of pieces that were not being shared previously, coming from Terengganu, from Selangor, and other places. And that's where we met John Ang. His name was mentioned at first. I said, oh, okay, that's interesting. We have somebody who's really passionate about it. And when we log in an interview with him, it was supposed to be a half day. I think it went for about a full 1 day. And again, that's another part of really gold and diamonds to be, presented in that manner.
Exactly.
And we were really blessed. So we've managed to finish the book, authored by 4 individuals, which is Intan, Khairul, and of course Nur Haiza. And we finished that book. It's about to go into printing already. And
wow.
Yes, and we presented the first time to public during the event in Kelantan, in Kota Baru. So that's the book.
I see. So it's just about to come out. It's not yet out. Amazing.
Not yet out. Yes.
Okay. So when is the launch date then?
It has not been fixed yet because of obviously COVID. But we're determined.
Shoot this COVID.
Yes. We are pretty determined within the next couple of weeks, we should go into printing already. We were waiting for one item which we are not sure of, but I think we got that sorted out. And I think we are good to go for printing. And once we get the first set of printed matter, and we will lock in the dates for launching, regardless, COVID or not COVID. We'll launch.
Well, we're looking forward to that. Please let us know.
Yes, of course.
Definitely would love to, be a part of. Well, I'm talking now on behalf of MCC. I hope the president doesn't mind. Anyway, but yeah, of course we would love to, find out about that and be part of that. Okay, wow, that's really good. Okay, so now the journey began when you were in college, and then met the Adi Guru, Nur Haiza, and then it goes into it went into somewhere in 2014-15.
Yes.
You guys all came together, 18 of you, and really kickstart this Langkasuka movement. Yeah, and then it goes to the exploration, the expedition. Wow, that's like what an adventure. All stems from this one drive to really bringing Langkasuka alive and back to the people.
Yes, to us, to you and me and everyone else.
So talking about that, what do you think are the initiatives? Again, we've heard of Langkasuka. I've heard of Langkasuka again, but it's not something that is alive inside us, until, of course, during the event that, we got to really explore it and delve into it further, in a way, not to say forced, but in a way, you got to study it, you got no choice because we're doing that event. And when, of course, Nick Faiz, the president, and the main EXCO members chose that theme, maybe we should also ask what drove him to choose that theme. Right?
Yeah.
So, what can, because it's not in the textbook, we don't learn it in school. Yet it's our blood, it's in us, it's who we are. So what's your say on that? And how do you think your involvement in the event, the Kelantan Exchange 2021 events, perhaps propel that maybe? Or what sort of other initiatives that we can do to bring it alive?
Okay. Looking at obviously we were pretty late in getting ourselves involved with the Kelantan Exchange, but we're glad we went. And like I say, it wasn't difficult for us to just jump into it and get connected. And I'm glad because it doesn't take one person, it doesn't take one organization. It takes a whole community to understand and to promote it to a different level. And I believe it will come true because everything is pointing towards the same direction.
Correct.
And the same direction stems from the fact that we all have these goosebumps, like we say, and we feel that there's a stronger reason behind it. And the more we dwell into it, the more questions we have. So this is something which, if it is a calling, then it must be done. And the more we talk about it, we have met many other people. Now that there's the Busana groups, the ones in Kelantan, Terengganu, the ones in KL, they're getting bigger. The ones who are, looking at how things are done in a different manner, like the art of horse riding, archery, and it's part and parcel of it. Then you stretch that even further. When we went to China, we were blessed. We stumbled upon different people, different walks of life, and we met the president, and they call it the president of, it's like the minister of culture and arts of China. And he's responsible of 502 museums and gallery in China. He was here in Malaysia. We stumbled to meet up with him. He said, please come to China and we'll show you what we have. And we went there. Again, the whole thing came about, and CCTV were excited with the possibilities of looking at how we were connected those days, those years. And today, alhamdulillah, they set up an organization called the Research into I Ching Connections with Southeast Asia / Tanah Melayu, and is headed by Dr. Goh of Hans Institute in Malaysia. So here you have the people and the authority and the government of China acknowledging it and empowering a Malaysian to look how to steer this thing and find out more. So there must be some reason and some more interesting stories yet to be told. Because in China everything is documented. And one of the most intriguing documentation is this sketch of 812. If you all can.
A bit blur.
A bit blur.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if you look at that character, it's one of the 12 characters on a scroll in Beijing, China. And it says that in old Chinese Mandarin, it's Ichita, the first emissary from Tanah Melayu. This is the year 110. And the Chinese are willing to say, okay, if you want, let's do research about it and find out more, because you guys came to us and we were doing business already. And this is 110,
Exactly, so I was going to say that. 110 is so mind-boggling.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, you know how the number 1111 is a very strong manifestation number. It's, and then with 110 and then 1001, it's really it's powerful number. Amazing.
Yeah. And of course, there's a lot of debates from the academics, the people who does the research. For me, granted, but like I say, I'm not an academician. I don't do that kind of research, but it's enough to tell me there must be something about it. And if I'm interested about it, you guys are interested in it. Nick Faiz is already interested in it, and 18 other people in Malaysia are already interested in it, and the people of China are interested in it.
Exactly.
Let's just jump into the bandwagon and focus on Langkasuka, what it did, what kind of civilization, what kind of empire, what it does to you and me and the people of China and the people of the world. So there's something which we all need to get together. So to your question, the Kelantan Exchange, I think, is a brilliant way of getting people together, because it's a focus on craft. I know it is a team that you all selected last year, but I hope it continues into. One of the speakers did talk about what about the years to come. Can we make it regional and international? I think it has enough material to go international.
Awesome. That's a great acknowledgement from you.
I mean, it's something which we all have to do it.
Yeah. It's truly a collective energy, right? It's a collective effort and a collective energy where somehow I think, like what we said earlier, there are unseen forces working behind in the background. Of course, the higher power, that's always the one above. It's always his plan anyway, but how, somehow, why now, why now? That's also another question after thousands of years, in a way, being a secret being a hidden, a hidden secret from when it's staring right underneath our nose. And we've always thinking about other great civilizations when, how do I put it? Without realizing, actually, we actually possess the greatest civilization of all, in a way.
Yeah. And for those who are skeptical and have to have evidence, my suggestion is just look at what Dr. Mukhtar Saidin and his team are doing in USM. Those are real evidence. Yeah, the data stretches to 110, and this is carbon dating by 2 countries, official carbon dating.
Wow.
Yeah. So and the evidence on the ground, not only suggests, but it's very, very clear. So and they are saying the civilization then is probably bigger than Angkor Wat and etc. And we stretch way back with metal. We call metal has the longest, one of the longest surviving mode of element. Yeah, and there are already evidence about samurai swords. Kadaram metal, and referring to black metal from Kedah, in chariots in India, and there were already talks about the pedang Rasulullah coming from a country like ours. So for me, Allahu Alam, we don't know.
Wallahu Alam,
yeah. But I hope this is a base that we can look at.
Yeah, the fact that metal exists there, and we are in a way a nation who has mastery on metals. Metal, the sea, the maritime. This is why the maritime, the seafarers, metal, and then that brings to the architecture. It seems like these 3 things truly like the forefront in enlightenment, and then we have the lifestyle and the culture that supports it all. It in itself is quite amazing and mystical, because we know metal is not from Earth. It is being sent from outer space.
Yes.
Exactly, right. So
yeah. But this is the Dr. Mukhtar Saidin who educated us about metal, and he said the DNA of metal is very specific. If it comes to that ground in Kedah, it's only there. It doesn't come from Johor. So the traceability of iron ore black metal is very specific. So again, that's another scientific evidence that people should refer to. And I like when we start opening about seafaring, stories of Awang Black, Panglima Awang Black. That is another bold story, and Hollywood guys have taken it up, and hence you have the character that represents the seafarer character. But it was Awang Black who go around. So for me, seafaring is another one that has to open up.
Right. Yeah. Because seafaring is our science. It's actually the Malays technology.
Yes.
Yeah, it's our science, right? Yes. I think those days we have, the British would come to us for that technology, for that science. And then those days, I believe our experts those days have even the ability to know the direction and read the sky to know where to go,
That's right. And read the seas and everything else.
Yeah. We are the experts those days when it comes to seafaring. So
and that's key. If we were the experts, what about now? Why can't we still be the experts? Why must we succumb to the fact that we are not good enough? We can, and I think we are. So it's just a matter of booting back ourselves and say we will do this.
That's an interesting point, Razak. The phrase the fact that you said we're not. Why do we think that we're not good enough? And I think that's a plague among our nation, not just the Malays. I think it's the whole Malaysian and the whole of this region. Because anyway, like my mom would always say, we come from the same school. It's the same teachers who taught you and me. So whether you're Chinese, Malay, Indian, is that same mold. So that feeling, you know, of we feel that we're not good enough, and that's really bugging me. It really makes me cringe when I think about it. Yet when we actually own and possess all this greatness, now how can Langkasuka bring back that identity and, you know, restore that self-esteem, restore that sense of solid identity within us all and moving forward?
For us, we see this one great possibility. If we are able to have that attitude, we are good enough and we will be, you know, who we want to be. I think that's clear evidence that we have been like that. I will stretch to this scenario when we were studying the trails of crossing the penarikan and whatnot. Technically, we were the ones in Tanah Melayu from Patani right up to Kedah that manage, that controls, that maneuver all the movement of every single good that comes from the east, from China, from the east, China, as far as China, into Tanah Melayu, and who gets it in Tanah Melayu, who buys it and trading, buy the metal and exchange with the coconuts and etc., and reload it on the boats in Kedah to send it to people of Indonesia, Nakoda, and then India, and then the western side, until Persia and whatnot. So if that is true, we were the managers of every single trade that comes from east to west.
Exactly.
We were the controllers, and we did it without computers, and we managed it. We actually are the heart of the trade of the previous world, era. So if that's the case, I think the list is, I'm quite sure some of us were to be able to have some genes of that. I'm quite sure. Maybe it's in you, maybe it's in me, maybe it's someone else. And we just have to acknowledge, yes, this is our culture. Yes, we can do this because we have done it. So, just a matter of acknowledging it, be sensitive to our culture and heritage. Nothing to be shy about it, and once you find it, do your calling. Start doing things on your own respective areas. Whether it's architecture, whether it's design, whether it's seafaring, whether it's crafts, whether it's talking to one another, whether it's documentation, events, auditing, whatever, Be the Langkasuka gene that is in every one of us. Hence, our tagline of the movement is actually be your heritage.
Be your heritage.
You got to be it. Otherwise, don't harap orang lain lah kind of. Because you are.
You are, exactly. We are, right? So there, guys, there you have it. Really just be and follow that calling. Be your heritage, be that calling, follow it. And like you said earlier, own it. Take ownership of it. Right, Razak? So before we conclude this, do you have any other things you want to add, to really anchor or engrave this message to everyone out there who's listening or who's watching tonight? Oh, before that, all of you who's watching and will be watching, you can go to the Facebook and follow and like Langkasuka movement. So the videos are all there as well. And go ahead and join the movement.
Yes,
Razak?
by all means, because it's open, and to us this is just the beginning, and it will take everyone's effort. So whatever is your interest, if it's garments and busana, be like John Ang and excel in that area, and share with the rest of the world. If you are like Nick and you guys, you're good at what you do in promoting others who are actually doing things like that. So that's your calling. Let's do that. If you're into metalworks, tukang besi, wood carving, or even architecture, regardless. And I see this is something which the world needs today, because I'm not trying to be philosophical about it, but we have enough issues and problems to face. I think we need more positivity in whatever we do. And if this thing at least makes me, myself, my wife, and my community, and then your community, if it makes us happy, let's just continue. No stopping, and empower the young ones to appreciate it. Regardless, like how we started with batik, how we were part of batik movement, and kebaya crafted for the world. Get the young ones involved, and I'm glad the Permaisuri Agong is into traditional fabrics, and that's key because a lot of those heritage are also in the garments, and I hope more people will jump into the bandwagon. Buatlah TikTok ke apa ke, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not good at TikTok, tak pernah buat pun. But if that's what you are good at, involve the heritage and culture, and together we can actually have better good times together, in the future.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Razak. Right, so there you have it, guys. Basically, breathe it, live it, and be it. Right.
Yep.
So amazing session we had tonight.
Thank you,
Razak. I mean, I enjoy it. I hope you do too.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
It is very insightful and very deep. I hope the audience out there is well able to appreciate what we're sharing tonight. So there you have it, guys. And as usual, as I always say, if not now, then when? And if not you, then who?
Yep.
Exactly. So This is me, Katie, aka the Bling Boss, your host for tonight on Golden Exchange Hour for Malaysian Craft Council. Do join us again on the next session, which will be announced. And we look forward to have more of you share this, be a part of us, and join the movement. Right? So like, share, join us also on Instagram. And there's another announcement. Malaysian Craft Council also in KB has just kickstarted. Inshallah, we'll be opening the Malaysian Craft Cafe soon. So we'll get to explore as well some local heritage gastronomy.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. So you can come over to KB. I mean, I haven't because it just did the food testing. So I'm excited about that too. Anyway, but it looks beautiful. They presented great food. Sorry? Looking forward. Yes. Thank you so much, Abdul Razak, and thank you guys.
Looking forward. Yeah, I mean,
we can go together. I mean, you're just nearby me anyway. with point in time.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's it, guys. Catch up with you guys later. See you. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, your team. Kitty. Thank you.
Thank you, Razak. And thank you, Paintan, as well, for helping in the background. Okay.
Yeah, she's listening in. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.